I just want to push something here, which is a little bit controversial for a lot of people. And I say that as an alcoholic, you cannot ever be a social drinker again. Now, I've spoken to lots of doctors, lots of other alcoholics about this, and they all agree with me, because once you have one drink, if you're an alcoholic, you tend to have two, then three, then four, then five. So a lot of people that I mentor say to me, oh, I'd like to have just one or two. What is the point of having one or two? That's the thing. So as far as I'm concerned, when you are off the booze and you feel a bit more confident, the temptation is to go and have one or two, which is no good whatsoever, I don't think, because it's going to take you straight back to square one. Let me think, well, let me know what you think on this, because people will say, I can have one or two, and then as soon as they do that, I guarantee they'll be back to square one again and be drinking full time, because I was off for 8 years. And as soon as I went back on it, I said to be full time. I was off for 8 years. Within a week of that 8-year period of sobriety, I was drinking full time again and drinking from 8 o'clock in the morning. So to me, and to many people that I mentor and support, then I just feel as if there is no chance of really coming back to normality, if that makes sense. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you cannot stop yourself. I can't just have one, you see. I tried many times when I relapsed to have one, and then I just end up having 10. And then I'd feel ill again. And I start feeling like I need the hair of the dog. This is the problem, you see. And I think this is always going to be a problem. And I just think that none of us, I'll let you comments on this, because none of us who are alcoholic can be social drinkers again. And that's where I think that it becomes impossible for us to be sociable in the alcoholic sense, if that makes, do you understand what I mean? You can't just become a social drinker when you've been an alcoholic, because it will catch up with you, and that's the problem. But the amount of people I speak to say, I wish I could just have one or two on a Sunday lunchtime. There's no point, is there? Because if you have one, you'll have 10. And we want more because we're used to having more. Years ago, I was a drinker in the police. Most of us had a lot to drink, and most sessions. There was the odd one or two people who had a couple of halves. And that was rare, That was really rare. And I look back at these people, I think they're probably quite healthy now. They've not as many medical issues as the rest of us did. I mean, a lot of the guys I used to work with and drink with are now dead, unfortunately. So that's what you got to think about. It's not going to do you any good, is it? And I just believe in myself that once you pass that point of no return, when you can't control it, and it happened to me when I was quite young, then you're not going to get back on the social drinking spectrum. So you've only got the two choices when you're an alcoholic. You can't have the third choice, social drinking. You've only got the two, which is stop or drink yourself to death, because it will kill you early or it will disable you. I've got various ex-acquaintances, you would say, who used to drink with, who are now in wheelchairs, on mobility scooters, who haven't got any cash. And so they can't really have much of a life. They don't go anywhere. They are unable to socialise anywhere other than the cheapest pub, which is maybe a Wetherspoon or something. The same more conversation, which you don't feel part of because you think you can't be bothered with them, all that sort of thing. And it's one of these things where you think, well, is it really worth trying to go back? I've tried about 5 or 6 times after different periods of sobriety to try and have one or two, and I failed every single time. And this is the problem, you see. So if you're going to fail, why even bother? And forget about this, I just want to have 2 or 3 drinks, because you're not like that anymore. That chapter of your life is now finished. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes. And I just don't feel as if you're going to be able to control it. I don't know anybody who's done it to actually go back from alcoholism to normal social drinking. It's just a point I want to get across, because a lot of people think that I fought it. And you've got to want to give up drinking. You've got to be very focused on it, because you'll feel every time you walk past a pub, especially in the summertime, it's nice and warm, so you're going to think, well, I'll just have a drink or two. I'll just try it. Even in 2019, I was in hospital from 2019 to 2021. Even after I'd had a couple of minor operations. I spent a lot of time in the hospital, got myself slightly recovered. Then I still thought, I passed a pub one day and I thought, I wonder if it's like just to have one. I went in the pub, I saw the taps, the beer taps. I thought, I'll just have one. So if I have one here, I'll be back to square one. I'll be back in the hospital again. When I recovered, I went on a lot of holidays. I wanted to catch up on life, basically. And I often thought, sitting on the beach, I'll just have one. And I thought, well, if I do that, I'll end up drinking on the plane again. So you cannot do it. And once you realise that this part of your life is now closed, you can move on. You've got to grow up a little bit, use a bit of common sense, and think, well, I can't actually do this anymore. I want a new life. And you've got to have a lot of time on your hands when you go out boozing. Because if you work out the amount of time you spend getting to the booze, planning to drink, drinking, and then the most part is obviously recovering, then you've got a lot of time to fill. And that's another danger time when you get bored. I've got a couple of friends with one particular, he's had pancreatitis. He takes 17 tablets a day to keep him alive. He goes to the pub every day. He was off for a year. Then he told me he went for a walk around Newcastle one day and he said, I'll just pop in for a half. Now he's on it all day, every day, all night, every day of the year, because he just tried that one half a beer. And you won't last long. But you can't last long because your body is just going to break down. And this is the issue, isn't it? So let me know what you think. And I'm going to start doing a few more of these lives when I don't know how to do them. I don't even know how to reply to people at the moment. However, if you want me to cover any subjects particularly, I will do. And I'll maybe start doing a sort of a session most days, or whatever time is suitable to most people. Because I think it's useful for people to chat together. And I just want people to be healthy, because I hate anybody to get the state I was in. I was depressed, I was suicidal, I was just at the bottom of the bottle in every respect. Physically, mentally, emotionally, just wrecked from being a very confident young man. It took over my life. It weaves its way into every part of your life. And various people I see here commenting, the regulars on the channel, we all know how we feel. I mean, doctors are brilliant at dishing out medication. Surgeons can put you back together and all that sort of thing. But only alcoholics know how alcoholics feel. And I know how you all feel. And you probably know how I feel. But to get to the point where you're recovered, or you're recovering, or you're sober, is magnificent. Your life will never be as good as when you're sober. And you'll never see a happy alcoholic, but you'll see lots of happy sober people. So I'll leave you with that, and hopefully I'll speak to you all very soon. But if you want me to cover any topics, like I said, then get in touch, and we'll have a chat again. I'll see you soon. If I can switch this off.